Dude, I'll never know what causes that crash on my OBS. I'm at the point where I think it's like some hardware shit. I haven't done shit this boss trying to fucking restart my stream. Well, that's the thing. I can't see what happens because of how it crashes my OBS. It doesn't crash my OBS and like stop it from responding or anything like that. The thing that happens is my OBS player, like, I'll bring it on stream. So my OBS, right? This is what I see all the time, right? Like I can see that I'm streaming, I can see my YouTube's turned on, I can see my bit rate and stuff. Like all of this stuff stays active. So like when this screen is just tiny, I don't really notice what's happening on it, right? Now, the thing that happens when the problem happens is this player, the only thing that'll change in my OBS. The time will still be going. The bit rate will still be fluctuating. Like everything looks fine, but the only way I can know if my OBS quote unquote crashed is my player, like the player here, will freeze. And since I keep my OBS so small, well, obviously I don't want to have like another window on my other screen, right? Like unnecessary. It's so hard for me to notice that it does it, and I don't know what causes it. I've like tried everything. I've tried reinstalling my fucking OBS. I've tried taking all of my OBS plugins out, and I've literally tried everything, and I'm just at the point where I feel like it's like a hardware thing. Like there's something hardware related that's bricking my OBS. So I don't fucking know, man. Not too sure how to fix that. It's super annoying too though, man, because obviously anytime you have to restart your stream is annoying. Like if you know how YouTube and Twitch work, like you ever have to restart your stream, like there's a lot of times you'll have like a viewership drop, or you have like a host or anything like that, it'll be gone, like everything like that, right? So wait, I think I just seen they were doing yeah, Funcom's doing a Dune stream. Is they having another test though? Alright, I'm about to sit here and watch this actually, because we will be no lifing Dune. Yeah, is Re not having another test? People are playing right now? I'll have to look at it. Why the quality of this camera look so bad? Any news on Chrono Odyssey? Not that I'm sure aware of. You were watching Hutch play it last night? And I gotta see how to get into it. Oh wait, you guys can't even hear this, bro. Nobody said anything. My OBS crashing messed up my audios. There you go.
Like, yes, right now. So that's amazing.
It doesn't look
You guys just sitting here listening in silence.
We don't do that here. We don't do any age shaming here. It's like, all right. But yeah, so as we now jump into some of the gameplay, we'll have actually Camille behind the camera who is playing for us. We will. There he.
Or do they have like a Twitch stream that looks better than this?
So as we take our first step here into the world, I mean, one of the main concerns that players have, or that we see often asked in the public, is like, Arrakis is a desert planet. Is it going to be boring? You know, like.
Okay, this looks way better.
Do a lot with the.
Right. Yes. I was in charge of the world for.
Their YouTube stream looks like Dookie.
We would still have a lot of verticality.
We can hear it now, just so you know. Okay, thank you.
Rock formation and different biomes that we'll explore and things like this. But it was really, really important to me that it was just.
Is the audio good?
A flat space of sand, right? And thanks to Oyvind and a lot of people on the world team, we were able to manage quite a lot of different high elevation.
All right, I wanna check this out because, like I said, Dune will be probably the next.
We can see Camille using the
Giga grind I do on the
game. You can look
game.
at the trade post. Right here we have 4 of them in Hege Basin. The map that you will play many hours. This is a neutral section that hosts a lot of NPCs. You can talk to vendors. You can get some contracts. It's our quest systems. And
Miss the LO times, right?
There.
I think it's also interesting to note that while we explore here and use the binoculars, it does actually add the points of interest that you're looking at to the compass at the top.
Yes, exactly.
Plus, you can also add your own markers,
absolutely.
right? So I think that's also.
Yes.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah,
by
that's
the
a
way.
little garage that we added because we had during the beta there was a lot of players going to the trade post with their hard-earned sand bike, and they were just placing their sand bike here there. They were going to the trade post, and then a sandstorm was coming. When a sandstorm comes, the door closes.
Yep.
And
we are getting a sandstorm now, so we can.
There is a sandstorm, so we'll see.
But
The sandstorms look really cool.
Like, just to like mention that again, we added those.
It felt pretty lacking. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
They apparently they changed a bunch of stuff recently, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Because for us, I don't know, we play the game so much, so it's hard to know what we don't know, right? So yeah, the door closes, and then when you're stuck inside and your bike outside, when you go out, your bike is destroyed. So now if you put at least your bike in a little garage, it's gonna be okay.
Or quite damaged at least,
yeah,
right?
quite
Like,
damaged at least for sure, right?
So we might actually see here the doors being, we see the sandstorm incoming here. Depending if the sandstorm actually comes close enough.
Yeah, now it is. Yeah, you should get inside, Kim.
Yeah.
Your ad block is so gimped it doesn't work anymore.
I haven't
07,
actually
dude.
tried. Can you get like squished and killed between the doors? That's actually something I want to figure out now because I honestly don't know. I haven't tried that.
Yeah, don't try it.
Yeah, don't
But
No.
I think you pushed in or out. I don't exactly remember.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. You also see like.
Well, that's funny
the
because
door closed.
there's a lot of things that can happen in the environment, and yeah, that just happened during the stream. So it didn't happen earlier, but now it happened. So we're gonna wait a little bit and talk a bit more, right? So the thing in front of Camille was the that's the contract board. So it's one of the way that you can get contract things to do basically. You pick them up and then you do them. You get some rewards. You can also find contract in the world. Some people might have been sent to kill other baddies, and then you just happen there. You steal the contract and you finish the job and get the reward for yourself.
You also saw that you have faction-specific contracts as well. They have like specific icons there, of course. So there's lots of things that and then you can of course see your quests or contracts, like we call them here, in your quest log, in your contract log, so to speak.
Yes.
So you also have like the faction
Can I fly you somewhere
here,
today?
like in these trade posts that you can like talk to if you want to actually start one
I
of
like
the
to
faction
fly.
quest lines.
Yeah,
Fast.
absolutely.
Storms,
There's a
worms,
quest line
static,
that's in
nothing
you
stops me from
later in
getting where
another
I need to go.
region that
But you know what
brings
I
you
don't
to
like much? Talking.
aligning yourself with one of the main faction, either Atreides or Harkonnen.
And also what we saw just now was you can actually, once you have a trade post explored or unlocked, you can actually use a pilot that flies you to one of the either Arakeen or Harko village. Like
Bro be taxing
you
though.
You can go to the trade post, or you can also fly outside of this map and then go into the cities and there's a lot of more things to explore there, more NPC to talk to. You have access to the exchange, which is the Dune auction house, where you can buy and sell things for and from other players.
Yeah, because generally you actually need an ornithopter, right,
Yes.
to go there. So we made sure that even newer players can actually enjoy those areas,
Yeah.
even if they don't have the ornithopter unlocked
Exactly.
just yet.
Takes a lot of time to get the topter, so it's
It
good to
worth
be-
it.
It's worth it.
It's,
oh yeah,
absolutely.
it is.
100%.
They don't know the
It's a
speed
real
run,
wow
dude.
Moment. I remember when I made myself my first ornithopter, I was very proud, and it was a
Yes.
really cool moment.
Sometimes
now-
when I test bugs, I just stop and I just fly around.
Really, just to
Yeah, do the booster.
enjoy your work. so
Takes
to
longer
say.
to fix bugs
Yeah, but
because
nobody knows that.
You can
Oh,
enjoy
yeah,
your work,
exactly.
you know.
Well, now
Dude,
I
this
do.
role player.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So in this case here, we do have a sandbag already, and we have like a few things that we're checking out now in the base.
Camille deposing blood that he harvested from enemies before. That's the best first way to, well, second way I must say, to hydrate yourself. First way is to suck up sap plant at the start of the game. But then at some point you unlock tools to be able to harvest blood from enemies, and then you can process it into water, where you can then drink. You can also drink blood if you're really desperate, but it's not really good.
It's
not
not.
very good.
It's not suggested at least, or
No,
it's not
exactly.
like. Yeah.
So yeah, we've shown a lot of the Haga Basin South in many of our videos before and other things. So Camille is gonna move away from there. Still see a couple of have a little look at a couple of other locations.
In early access, what,
But
dude?
For us, it's
I
night
have
time
early.
now,
Well, I have
so
the
there's
access to
not
Dune.
much,
It's just
fun
under
to do
NDA.
it because it's better to travel during the night. You don't have to run with shadows.
Yeah, I
and
think I
things.
played it for
And
like
Camille is,
Doing
I
a
don't
barrel
know, like
roll.
80, 100
It
hours,
happens.
somewhere in there.
It's going up that little rock formation here. Beautifully.
It's
set.
hard. Like I have
Exactly, I love
a
how
few
the-
things that I get like NDAs for, and then I want to
the
play
eye
it.
there, the lights guide you.
But
I think it's not like.
no, 80 to like 100. I haven't played
like little
a
things
crazy amount,
the
but
eye goes to.
Exactly.
That's
Classic
well-
world
that's
design.
well-
and
I get,
very
like,
hard, you know?
Yeah.
access to stuff that I have NDAs for, and then
yes, now we're going to
I just
meet,
don't. I don't want to not stream. You know,
Directionara. He's planet.
the struggle. I want to like play the game and
he's
dive
one of the
into
NPCs
it
that
and
you
like
meet in
learn
the
stuff
game to
beforehand,
learn,
but I also want to
his
be
skill
here.
set, basically. So you talk to him, and then you do little things for him.
But I feel like
and
I
when you're
I
done, you will be able to
I did a
unlock
deep
some
dive on
skills
this
that you
game,
might not have.
and I'll probably
Create your
play
own.
it some more
There's
before it's
many of them
actually
in the
out
world.
again.
You will have to find them.
And this comes out right around my
So
birthday
you'll be
in
able
May.
to, unlock more skills to diversify your build.
Yeah.
Basically.
So once again, exploration pays off because you might
Yes.
actually find some strangers out in the wild to like
Absolutely.
customize your builds as well.
Yes.
Because as we know, you can mix and match all different trees
Yes.
as long as you have skills unlocked.
Exactly. And there's lovely little set dressing there done by the art team to really emphasize that this guy's growing some plants in the harsh world of Arrakis.
Dune 24-hour streaming coming? Oh, I mean, it'll be
I mean, we have.
it'll be
we
longer
also
than that,
saw
I'm sure.
Camille use
It'll
the
be
wire claw earlier,
Yeah,
so
Like actually grinding,
Because-
grinding.
traversal and traveling is
Yep.
going to be a big part, obviously, for
It's just
players.
empty,
We
though.
will spend a lot of time doing that, so we also wanted to make sure it's actually fun, both in terms of how the world looks like, but also in terms of the options they have to do that. Right?
Absolutely.
You wanna?
Well, using the Shikawai during combat is can be quite effective as well. You can even use it to stun.
Very true.
Yeah, exactly.
that's
It's a
very true.
multiple purpose. And
Yeah.
then I don't remember if Kendall was doing that. Oh, yep,
Oh, we
that's
have a
pretty good.
dynamic encounter here.
Yeah, that's a dynamic encounter. So yeah, sometimes you travel the world and then things happen. And then it was a group of scavenger with a broken down bike. And then
They wanted
yeah.
your bike.
Yeah, exactly. They shoot on sight.
Also, they didn't plan well enough.
No,
obviously,
exactly,
Because that's
exactly.
something you should definitely do. You need to be able, or you need to plan ahead if you travel.
Yes, so now we're gonna go to the Vermilius Gap. There's this thing flying in the background. It's a Sardaukar dropship.
All this RP cruising across the desert, dude. About to get gobbled up.
This massive light, and then if you get caught into
That
it,
little orange
you're stuck in
squiggly
place,
underneath the
for a
bike.
bit of time, and they throw,
It's like
throw
a
worms
sound
everywhere.
alarm, pretty much, of
That's
you
important.
alerting a big worm.
but they still send Show Mercenary to basically get rid of you because, for reasons I will not talk about here, they are there to find you, basically.
Look for someone.
Exactly.
For someone.
So now the worm is probably getting out. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yep.
It's coming. It's coming for
Yeah,
him.
you should get out there.
Too much vibration. You see the vibration bar there, so we
Yes.
actually pissed
The little
someone
worm.
off back there. The little one.
Lucky that worm came up over there, dude.
But
With
what's
my
cool
luck,
about
that
the
should
sandworm specifically
that
is
should
that
jump up right
they
behind
actually
you.
have their own territory.
Yes.
Like they have their own kind of life, if you right.
Yes, absolutely. It's not visible for the players, but there's many worms in the map, and they all have their own territory. And then when you cross them, it's another worm that's gonna run after you, and they're really territorial. Yeah, exactly. Excuse my French. And that's yes, they will come after you no matter what. And the more vibration you do, the faster they will come to you.
And here's just pausing NPC camp because there's like different slices and different areas as well. So we just pass. Are we going into? I think it's actually in.
Yeah.
It's a camp. It's
yeah,
an
exactly.
NPC camp. Yes.
And now we'll see the beauty of event work and world design. There's a beautiful arch that when you pass it, look at this. There's
The
this beautiful,
vista.
exactly. There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
Remember to stop here, go off your bike, enjoy it.
Exactly. Enjoy it.
We spend a lot
Stay
of
in
time
the
on
shade.
this.
Stay in the shade.
Stay in the
Make sure.
shade.
But also, what we just saw here was that there is an icon there, like at the camp as well, because
The Kirab.
the
Kirab symbol.
Yeah.
yes. So, for example, the camps have different factions, or we have different factions in the game, different NPC factions. They
The
might even fight each
abilities
other as well.
menu
Who
looks
knows with
different.
that, as you explore.
At least
But
having the
more
ones
importantly,
unlocked like that. I don't remember
there's
it
a
being like that.
reason that they look different as well.
Yeah, yeah. We have to diversify the camps, right? So they have the Kirabs. They like the broken machines. They're trying to fix them. We have the scavengers, which is like the first faction you actually meet. They're just trying to survive, like you, of course. And later on, you get more and more advanced factions, and they all have, you know, their banners, symbols, and kind of way of life, and how important they are on the hierarchy. So you need to fight your way up to the top.
Exactly, and they use different abilities also, and yeah, the higher you go in the factions, basically, the harder enemy gets, and they have more abilities to attack you and different weapons. Oh, there you go, got stunned a little bit. But now Camille has a shield, so he's pretty much invincible to bullets, even though there's a power drain when he gets shot at. But that's a really good way to survive against melee, against range weapons.
I love his path though, like the build. I am a sword master at heart. I love the sword master tree, so I am melee to do and to do. I actually hate if I have to use a weapon. I love the combos and those things. So.
I'm more of a gun guy myself.
You're a gun guy yourself.
yeah.
Well, that's good.
That's the beauty of things, right? You can play like you like to play.
Yeah.
Like your approach, you can also be more sneaky.
Yes.
I always try to be more sneaky, and then I just end up aggroing the whole camp. just like it never works out.
Camille using the voice right
Oh,
here
nice.
to attract the heavy. They are big baddies, and they have shields.
Yeah, they're annoying.
And
They're very annoying.
light machine guns. They're pretty annoying, yes, because when they don't shoot, they have a shield, so you can't really shoot at them. And they have a lot of bullets.
So,
So
talking about combat, we know that you have a lot of questions regarding melee combat in general. So we won't go into that today, also question or reply-wise, but we will have a dedicated combat stream for you down the line.
Yes.
And then you can throw all the questions you have at us then. So just keep that in mind if we don't answer any combat questions today.
we
Very
can
aware that
see-
you might know more.
But this one is a shield, so there's different weapons that are good against that. And there's using a disruptor right there, which is high burst rifle, throw a lot of bullets at the same time, so that's really good to be able to, and then you can finish them off by how you want. Now it disappeared, which is really good, but Camille was fighting under the sun earlier, so he got sunstroke,
Yep.
which is one thing you have to keep in mind all the time when you travel during the day. So, and then he was dehydrating extremely fast, and now his hydration is pretty low. So you can see also whenever he shoots, the shield is turned off by default. Because you cannot shoot when you have a shield on you, of course. So you have to be careful into when you use a ranged weapon with a shield.
Now we can harvest their blood.
Yeah, that's
The
what he's
blood
been
of the
doing now.
enemies there.
He fill all his container. There's a lot of different containers that we have in the game. There's a
Oh,
little
dude, they
line
have like an
that's
elephant
pretty
gun in this
straightforward to know
game.
what is lootable and
That
what is
shit's
not.
OP.
There's different size of chests. That's a bigger one right here. You get better loots and bigger piece of armor and things like that. That's a med crate.
It like
There's a
legit
lot
just
of
one
things
taps people.
and different things. The locker that was there is pieces
AI
of,
players,
components
they don't
to
even
craft
matter.
and upgrade different weapons.
And it's like hit
in the game,
scan.
and then there's a lot of different things also. There's bigger, glowier, better chests also. We're gonna see one later, because like Tasha was saying, there's a lot to explore in this world, and I was personally more than happy to hide a lot of different things in all corners and height and depth of this planet. The turret is probably gonna do its job. There you go. It's a really good skill to use at the start, by the way. It's really good against enemies. But there's a shield, so it doesn't do much. There you go. Slow blade, and then turret finished up the enemy, which is good.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but you can also parry.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
The enemy blades.
Yes.
Stun them a little bit.
And now Camille's in a cave, which is another little piece of environment. This is a tiny cave that we have right here.
Also, we just found the contract there.
No, it's
Isn't that a
it's a
contract?
it's a contract container, but there was nothing right here because he doesn't have the contract.
Oh, it was actually a
Uh,
quest item.
Exactly,
Okay,
it was a
yeah.
quest item, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have a contract. So at least for this specific, there's a lot of different places that you can find pieces before you have the contract, and when you have the contract, you can turn it already, right? But yeah. And then we just exited the little cave, which is another little environment that you get specific component in there. It's a old Fremen remnant from their ancient past, because you know that Fremen have had a little bit of a hard history in our timeline right here. And you can find different components to craft different things like steel suits and cutter rays and things like that. And there's other landmark like the one we've seen right
Yep.
here, this big mining rig that has been abandoned for years and years, that now have been conquered, and now it's Kirabs living there, like you said,
Right.
right? All right,
And
another
we're-
base.
Yes, we're at our.
Look at these
second
RP
base here.
bases, dude.
Super nicely done,
Beautiful
by the
base.
way, by Tor Egil. Shout out to Tor Egil from marketing team, our communications manager. He is our internal builder. He is just amazing.
Oh, he does.
Also, talking about building,
Mhm.
like the screenshots that our beta testers are posting on our Discord are so mind-blowing. I cannot wait
Yes.
what the wider community is going to do with this. Like, I
Yeah.
am so excited. It's probably
The
one of things
building
that I'm
is
most excited
about to be
what people
great.
can come or what people
Me
can
and
come
Smart
up
were
with,
playing
like,
it a lot already.
design-wise.
Absolutely, because if
I
you
can't
remember,
wait.
there was the don't remember the
You
name,
can
but
make
they
some
had-
pretty
there was this
crazy
person in the beta
buildings.
that made this car
The
dealer.
car dealer.
The car dealer.
Yes. Yes.
There was this massive base with little.
Yeah, like almost like honeycomb things,
Yeah,
like
exactly,
in a
yes.
beehive, and each had like an ornithopter or a
A
sandbag that you could
bite.
look at, like
yes.
literally like a car dealership. It was absolutely
Yes,
mind blowing.
with all different swatches,
so
you know, with different
creative,
colors
yeah.
and
It
a
was so
Treaties
creative.
buggy and an Arcanon buggy and a lot of different. That was really cool. That was really cool.
Also here we see.
I wish they
Colours
they
actually
lifted the
preparing to,
NDA,
you know,
man.
Go farther.
ahead.
Yes.
But also, I think DT, I think he now can abandon like the previous phase.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
It's pretty good that thanks to Thor, because there's another base, right? But that's a big thing in the game. We expect player to move because everyone will start in the Haga base in south that you can see here.
That's
but
his old base.
yeah, that's
the
his old
first
base, and then he can just abandon it, and then it's gonna be cleaned up by the storms.
Yes.
And it's really cool because, well, he doesn't have to get back there because he brought all his things already. But also it gives more space for the new players that will
Yes.
join the server
Yeah,
to be able to build their
absolutely.
base there.
Yeah.
So there's this flow of players that can go and further into the map, right?
So the storm is like a Roomba of Arrakis. then.
Yeah,
Going
Storm
around
is,
sweeping up.
Shaiulu, then Storm is the Roomba of Arrakis, absolutely, 100%. So now it's time to fly.
This, of course,
The
opens
flying
up
is
the
pretty
world
fun.
Even more.
Yes.
So
You can,
have
like,
a lot of additional
basically
options
hold your
and
wings
a lot
and
of
glide,
options
but
now.
like
Here
to
we
efficiently
have
fly,
here,
it's
which
more
is
about gliding than
from
flying.
the air.
Yes.
Again, this for me, this was
Like
such an
swooping
amazing
down
moment
low
that I,
and using that
for the
momentum
first
to go up
time,
high and
felt
stuff.
my very own ornithopter.
And
I
rotate.
had to, like, crafty
So you could do some
myself, I
crazy
had
maneuvers
to,
and stuff.
Work for it, like literally in the game, and then you get to fly.
Yes.
It's just
So that hole down there, Imperial Testing Station. We have different type. This one is a geological one, so it's more about like old research
a
about
crash
mining
plane
and
over there.
resources and different minerals that got abandoned for 10,000 year when spice was discovered. They abandoned a lot of different things, and they've been recently reopened. And then of course there's a lot of baddies that are living there now. They took care of that. Mostly again we're still in the Vermilius Gap, so it is Kirab living in there.
also we just flew over that white.
Yeah, this
yes,
white
there you go.
puff right there, this is flower sand. It's a resource that you can harvest either by hand, which is not really. I mean, you can. It's not that great, but you can.
not as
or
efficient,
it's not
but-
efficient exactly. Or with a static compactor, which is way more efficient. But it's on the sand, so of course you create vibration, and then what that means,
Worm coming.
worm is coming exactly. So now we're gonna. Oh, there's this big ship that fly from time to time, and there's
Yes,
also
and there's
this
also a
thing there.
crashed
Yeah, that's
spaceship
also,
that is coming down slowly out of the atmosphere. Yes.
That's a small crashing ship that's
Also
gonna
dynamic
fall
events.
somewhere. We don't know where. It happens from time to time.
I think that
So
ship
we
was
went onto
bugged.
This little flat rock, literally.
But there is a visual for
Yeah,
them
it's
to
the flat
crash.
rock.
Is it actually called the flat rock?
I think there's there's
We
an
need-
outpost.
Oh, is it
there's an
coming
outpost
now?
just out
Joel,
under
give
it,
it,
I think.
give it a name, Joel.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Joel is the one who gave the name, by the way.
oh
There's-
no,
there's-
zero.
Yeah, there's flat rock outpost. There's
Oh,
a
no.
spice blown out.
Spice
after.
explosion.
That's
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Yeah, when the spice
Perfect.
explosions
Yeah.
happen,
So
the
everyone-
visual's so cool.
There's nothing scripted here. It's all
Like,
systemic, right?
I don't know if you got to
But Camille is
see.
gonna
He wasn't really
break
paying
down
attention,
how
but like
it's
a
done, so you should
wave
know
of
how it
sand
Do
would like
not-
pulse
do
by
not
you.
stand on
And then you hear
on a
the
place
sound.
where
It
you
looks
see there's
super cool and
something
sounds cool in
happening
game.
That
No,
color,
exactly.
do not stand on it. Just
Exactly.
as a tip.
So that's one of the glowy chests I was talking about. As I said, there's a lot of them hidden throughout the world in many places. And then in them, you can find these purple thing. It's unique schematics. When you find one, you need to go back to a safe space to be able to learn it. And Camille found a couple more. This is the good stuff, right?
Including a last gun.
Including a last
Yeah,
gun.
people wonder about
This is
last
really
guns.
late game, by
we,
the way.
we do have
but,
last guns in the
yes,
game.
we do have last guns, but you cannot create nuclear explosion with them. In our timeline, Shelm have specific anti. What's the word? I always forget. The safety.
Safety,
If you point at another player or an enemy with a shield with a las gun, that will not shoot. Because we don't want to just everyone to just nuke everyone for the lulls. You know.
It will basically just block.
Yeah, exactly.
It will what is the term?
It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's there's probably an English word for that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But you're safe and sorry.
But
Yeah, exactly.
this is one of the things that I was really excited about, and I know both your teams were working really hard on to find like those hidden places and like hide goodies for players to find. I remember like even in normal like the small caves that we saw earlier that are actually relatively small. I was
Yeah, when
like,
you scan an
climbing
area like
there
this,
and
like
just
everyone can see
figuring
it.
out how high can I
That's
actually go
actually
up
pretty
in that
cool
cave.
when you
And
see
then
it.
I found a little nook that literally had a chest with something very rare.
Yes.
And I personally, as a player, I love those things because
Yeah.
it makes me feel like, oh, probably not everyone has found that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you see the big hammer right there. It's an landmark called near Zaba. Well, if you climb at the top, maybe it's a good thing, you know?
Maybe not.
Maybe
Maybe not.
You know?
But it's not always that obvious. It's
No,
actually
no,
really
no.
fun that sometimes like, oh, there's nothing there, and no, actually.
Yeah, there's obvious place, but
Yeah.
also. So now Camille used the survey
Yes.
probe, which is really cool. So it surveyed a part of the map and then opened up. And now we can see a lot of different things. So you can see the shipwreck just north of
Yeah, the
different
surveys.
houses.
It's like how you
There's, different,
clear the fog of war
outposts.
in like a
This is
whole
where
little
you
grid
get
area.
intel points. You see right here, 0 out of 1. This is where
It's like
you
all
can,
that sand that's on the map
unlock
is
more
just fog
tech
of
in the
war,
tech
like the
tree.
cloudy looking sand.
There's the red circle you see there. This is drum sand.
If you were to
So if you
navigate through it,
if
you would be
go there,
uncovering it from the
you
map.
hear it when you play boom, 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 and it attracts the worm like no tomorrow. And there's the other ones also that we see with the little lines on the right, which is tidal dust, which is the Dune term. Internally, it's quicksand.
Yeah.
Number one killer of vehicle.
Yes.
Which is interesting though, because like in the 80s, I was really thinking quicksand is gonna be a way bigger problem than it is nowadays. Because like, you know, my childhood was ruined by movies with quicksand deaths. Like, let's not talk about never-ending story. But anyway, so we have quicksand in the game here. So here it is actually a problem.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
and I know from personal experience that yes.
Yes,
Oh, there you go. There's the
it
gliding
lost
right there.
its
exactly.
vehicles.
So you can see
And
a lot of
rotating and
landmarks
stuff.
there, thanks to,
Ooh, and also a
again,
nice barrel roll
Yeah.
here from Camille. Very nicely done. So we have different modes in like when you fly. Like we
Yes.
have like
you can
wanna
fly.
comment on that?
There's
the
the
vulture modes.
yeah,
and
exactly.
normal.
You can do a lot of different things.
I've
and,
never
it's-
understood how
it's arcadey
anyone
in a way, right?
prefers to
But
have motion blur on in a
easy
game.
to use, and it's really pleasant to go around. And Camille right there is just showing another thing also. I was talking about quicksand and drum sand, but there's also radiation in the game. You can see it with this little cute fuzzy thing that looks like northern lights, but yeah, you don't go there.
Don't stay in there.
No, exactly.
And actually, let's do, but because we have more things to
That's
show.
what
obviously, we're
radiation in
gonna
the
fly
game
to
looks
some
like.
Other areas, but we would like to start a poll here and open it up to Twitch chat.
Oh.
What would you like to go see between Imperial testing station or a shipwreck? Like those two. Like maybe we can.
Oh, there you
also
go.
explain
That's a
those
perfect
differences,
view of it
obviously.
right there.
Absolutely.
But also, so we open a poll.
Did you see the
and
big
we do
old
a
like sand wave
vote
that went
A
blasting
or
by him?
B. So you can vote for either of them, and then at the end of like I
That
don't
was
know,
like a
2
perfect
5
shot.
minutes, we see how long we're gonna run it. We'll see what you voted for, and we go visit that. We might die though.
The audio of the
It's
stream
kind of
doesn't
like a
do justice
high-end
either.
thing
When
that
you
we
hear
do
that
now.
shit in
It's
game,
a
it
little
sounds
higher
so
tier,
immersive.
And Camille is not fully equipped for that, but that's fine. He's gonna get good, and it's gonna be great.
Yes.
It's gonna be great.
Like now we also see like different rock textures, right? Like what's the inspiration to go with specific rock textures? Maybe you can talk about
Oh,
that
yeah,
a
that's
little
what
bit.
Oh yeah, rocks. My
Owen's,
specialty.
Owen's favorite
Yes.
topic, rocks.
Rocks and sand.
I love blazing rocks. Yeah, the body dome is kind of the inspiration for a lot of the rock shapes. You will probably see it from the movie, but of course, that's a bit too Earth-like. So we had to kind of ramp it up a little bit, place some rocks vertically, having like these little mushroom shapes with the kind of like holes. And maybe there's a little secret on top of some of them.
Or inside them.
Or inside
also.
them.
Or under
Exactly.
them.
Or under them, there's canyons. Because we have to make it a little bit more alien, right? So we can't just use Earth-like
Ooh,
shapes.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, you're getting good at this.
Also,
Yeah.
what I personally love is that also when you run on the ground too, there's always this super nice silhouette that we have. You know, I feel like it's never just flat desert, right? It's always like, was that planned? Before we go into the Haga Rift here, are those planned? How does that work?
Some are happy accidents.
There's some, because like Bob Ross would say, some are happy accidents, but there's a lot of, like at the way earlier, right? The archway, and then there was the thing in the back. It's 100%
Very
planned.
planned.
Of course, this is classic world design and environment design, just to make sure that like yes, of course it's reality and things, but we just magically place things in line, you know. So when you get somewhere, and you were talking about when we were visiting Derek, there was all these lights, you know, and well, this is classic level design and art
Yeah.
design, right? We guide you with things, you don't really think about it, and then magically you just reach a thing. And Camille is scanning for things now. I guess it's time
But
Oh.
to go.
yes, so that's the other thing, right? Like we actually have verticality in the game, so it's
Yes.
not just flat desert, it's on one level. So
Obviously, you can see how the flying
Yeah,
is
you
now,
can
huh?
talk to us about how we. It was not easy when when we talked about this beautiful region here, how we made it, but.
Yeah, what was the first thing? I want a canyon. Okay, here we have a canyon. Deeper. Deeper? Yes, deeper. More elevation. And it was a challenge because you need to actually get up from this deep canyon as well, right? So we have these platforms that you can drive on. And in the beginning we didn't have that many, so we needed to add more and then traverse between them. And these tunnels, which are cool, but then we needed to make them cooler with the mining galleries.
Exactly.
And then they wanted a bit dark.
Yeah, at some point
which is cool.
We had the Haggy Rift, and it was all fun and game and things. But I was like, how could we make it different?
Yeah.
So I was playing a lot of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and
there
I
you
was
go,
like,
yeah.
you know, in the underworld, do that. And then of course, pitch darkness is not great for art. So you know, we had a lot of iteration and amazing work with the lighting
Yeah.
team. To make sure that you can still see in the dark and things like that, right? So, but it was a bit of a struggle to
It's a
make
challenge.
that canyon in there.
Yeah. And I think also, and I know it because I actually placed the tech for it, but you are safe from the sandstorm.
Yes.
down in there.
Oh, that's nice. That's good to know. So if a sandstorm is coming, dive into the harbor.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then you're safe.
And there's obviously no worm. There's no worm down there also, you know. So
That's
you're
a good
pretty
thing
good.
too.
There's other things.
Yes.
There's other things, but you know, it's different. So where are we going?
We are going to the shipwreck.
You're going to shipwreck.
Chat has voted.
Okay.
We are going to the shipwreck. Let's check
All
out the
right.
shipwreck.
All right.
So also let's talk about, like I mentioned, the difference between because there's differences between like
Yes.
Imperial testing station or a shipwreck.
Yes, I think the biggest part, in fact, that is kind of related to location, but not at the same time, is the Kenley, right? We haven't talked about Kenley. We had it a little bit earlier when we went to the trade post. We were in Kenley Guild Peace. You can see on the top right, there's a Kenley limited warfare. This is the PvE region, and now you're going to see the yellow thing under the compass. When Camille will go closer, the Kenley is going to change to War of Assassin. So every single shipwreck in the game, except the first one, is PvP. So we have these pockets of PvP in there. So when you go,
I like
there,
how
you
the
get
guy's
to
just
see
rubber
different
banding
enemies,
through the
yes, more
sky.
enemies to fight, but also potentially other players. You don't know, right? And then Imperial Dictation are PvE. There's no problem with that. The big difference also is that, well, they offer different challenges. They offer a different look, of course, but also they offer a different loot. There are specific components that you want to get at trade posts, shipwrecks, to mainly craft weapons. And at Imperial Testing Station, it's a lot of things mainly to craft vehicles. It's not only that, but it's why you would want to go to one or the other. And then we can see here that now Camille is fighting harder enemies. This is the Slavers now. It's another faction.
He's got his drone out.
Yeah, there's a vehicle right there, the buggy.
Yes, and they use a lot of suspensor grenade and thematic abilities to basically hook you in place and shoot at you and things like that. So
We just talked about the resources
Yeah.
that you can find in the different, like the differences between resources, but there is generally other ways as well that you can find, or you can buy those resources, or you can buy them
Yes.
from other players, of course, but also from trade posts in some cases. You
exactly.
can also find them sometimes. It's just not as efficient.
Exactly.
Right? Like
If you
get it in higher quantity in these areas.
Exactly. If you absolutely don't want at all to even get close to a PvP
Exactly,
zone,
yeah,
you can buy the components for Solari, which is the Dune monetary resource, right?
Yeah.
Which is, we always have different ways of getting things depending on your play style in the game. So now, Camel's
to
gonna get
find
in
our way
there.
inside here. This is special.
Yeah, that's a Pentashield door. He got the ID band earlier, which is pretty good, so he was able to cross it. It's a shield basically. You cannot pass through if you don't have the ID, but he had. So he's gonna get in there. He's gonna probably get another one. So that's one of the heavy from earlier, but they're meaner, these guys, because yeah, that's slavers. So he has a shield on. So using the voice and then slash this guy to death.
He's doing really well, though. I gotta say.
Yeah.
The
It's,
fact that they're like.
they have this pushback abilities, because when you get too close, they get mean. Here we go. Good stuff.
Nice.
Great. So yeah, you can see here the different things. Also the armor plating. This is a component to craft different things. Mostly, of course, armors. in the game
Tier
and things.
armor, yeah. And
So
then
here
I
we
think
go.
this-
We got the mechanical part and the plasteel microfiber. thanks Dune for all these great terms. That
You'll get used
we
to
have
them
to use.
after a
Yeah,
while,
exactly.
right?
Instead of wood and rock, we have these things. But yeah, this is all these things you get in shipwrecks. Bring that to your base, and then that's going to be helping you to craft weapons specifically. And then there's a buggy right there. This is there. You can steal it. We have that in the game also. You can steal vehicle from NPCs.
vehicles, yeah.
So that helps you drive faster or different things like that. So kill that guy or skip him, because there's a big loot container close by that Camille I'm sure want to get.
Spoilers.
Spoilers or not.
Spoilers.
Camille doesn't care about the loot. It's fine. He has already he already has a last gun
We've
anyway.
seen the big chest,
Yeah,
and
exactly,
he's like he's
exactly.
like he's armored up to his
Exactly.
teeth anyway. So yeah.
Absolutely. Now we got another cycle again. It's night, so the starter car drop ship are probably out. But in this region, there's not a lot because we're pretty we're farther into the game now.
All right.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
Let's press on.
Let's press on. Yes, we have so much to cover.
Out of
It's
the
a big game.
out of the Canley area into the normal area again. So you'll see.
Yes.
You will always get an information when you
Yes.
cross something. So you will know that okay, now I'm in PvP.
Yeah,
or in
and
PvE
under the
or-
compass, it turns yellow if you go into PvE. It turns green if you go into guild peace, which is mainly cities and neutral zone, and it gets into red if you go into PvP area.
Right. So when we talk about hazards, we talked about hazards earlier. So we have the radiation, of course. We have the quicksand.
Yes.
Heat.
Jumps in.
Heat is also. I
Yeah,
feel
we
like
have
is
heat,
a-
we have fire, we have
Heat is a hazard.
poison.
Worms.
Yeah, we have the
worms.
worm, of course.
That's a big hazard.
The
yes.
sandstorms also, of course, there's that. The starter car, it's not really a hazard, but you know, it's a thing that can get in your way during the night. And
Yeah.
it's always when you don't think about it, and then you see this big light coming to you, and boop, and then you have the chill mercenaries falling from the sky, and you start shooting at you while going down because they use suspensors, you know,
I really like the fact. Oh, here we are actually gonna fly into the
overland map.
edge of the map and go into the overland map.
Yes. So the map that we've seen right there, we've seen just a little bit of it. This is one map. When you craft an ornithopter, you can leave this map. And then you can go to different places, including the deep desert that we will not go now.
Nope.
But we're going to show you the thing. So that's a tutorial. We can close that.
We know that people really wanted to see the deep desert. Rest assured, we
Another
will
one.
do that in another
Exactly.
stream.
So we have this map right here where you're basically flying your little ornithopter, and then you can head towards different maps, which is a good thing for us also in the future. We will be able to add a lot more content with this,
Exactly.
which is really great.
Yes.
So that's the Haga Basin map, that's where we were in, and then Camille will now head south towards Harco Village. So Camille is piloting his little thing. You have water on one side and fuel on the other.
A little bit of a swirl there. Love it.
swirl there. There you go.
A little bit of
Little thing. You have these little
flourish.
fueling and water deposit here, so you can just stop there, and then your water will go up again. Because even in this little map right here, you're still a survival game, so you know fuel and water is important. And now we're gonna enter Harco Village.
As we saw earlier, we had at the first trade post, we actually have NPCs that can get you there too.
Yes,
Before
the
you have
taxi,
an
yes,
ornithopter, or you can
absolutely.
fly yourself if you have. one.
Exactly. It costs a bit of salary to get to cities, of course. We don't do that for nothing.
No one
But,
does anything for free on our.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No.
And well, your character, that's what happens sometimes. The
Oh,
equipment.
hello.
Hello.
All right. She
There we go.
forgot to dress. Okay, there we
It
go.
happens.
Yes.
Bit loading.
Took a bit of loading, but yeah. So, Harco Village. This is where the Harkonnen are for now in the game, and we'll not.
We're not gonna
Spoil
actually
too
show it
much.
too much here, but that's probably a really nice area to
Yes.
close off
Yeah.
this section.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes,
One of the
so-
city, lots of things to do there, lots of people to talk to.
Yes.
contract
Obviously, we are
together.
actually playing on a.
But
like,
why? Oh,
on
but
a
why
server,
what?
We're not playing
Sorry, I
on the
wasn't
beta or
paying
we're not
attention
playing
to
on-
when you asked the question.
Especially not on the beta because we didn't want
No,
player come like,
that's
hey
to crash-
mom, I'm on
to
camera.
crash into
You know,
us.
like yes. So we just needed to do the things that we needed to do, right? And so that's just a single player.
Yes.
So that's the reason you don't see any other players here.
Yes.
Generally, you will, obviously. So, yes, let's wrap it up here for the live gameplay and exploration and the worlds. Thank you to Camille for playing in the back there. That was fantastic.
You can't see him, but he did a great job.
Yes, and also thank you, of course, Øyvind and Chef for making time to be on stream and chat to us about all of this. It was a pleasure, as always.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes, it was
And-
great.
I work next door.
Yeah, you didn't have that far, right? It was like just
I had
walk over.
I had a bit longer to get, but yeah,
Because
it's good to be
we're
here.
here at our offices in Oslo.
Yes,
so,
exactly.
Yes,
From Sweden.
Yes, you had a little bit longer. But yes, so we're actually gonna go into our next segment, which is going to be about the music and the audio of Dune Awakening. And to get us into the mood for that,
I wonder if they're
we're
just gonna
actually gonna
show.
watch a really cool video, the behind the scenes of how.
Oh yeah, I think they're gonna show the video that we
soundtrack
seen
was
earlier.
recorded in London.
I love Dune's music though. Dune, like books, movie, even the show, fire.
The most important thing music lends to a game is the emotional part.
I don't
And
know,
this is something
you know,
music
how
does
much the
very
game
well.
is gonna live up to it all, but the Dune world is super cool.
Sound is 50% of the experience. You can play a game without sound, but sound will convey the emotions.
2-month lifespan? Yeah,
written
I mean-
and for. It connects the unconnected.
They tend not to last that long. Endgame will be dog and we'll be back on TL.
We are approaching
Probably.
launch, and I'm here in London to watch the beautiful soundtrack being recorded at Air Lindhurst.
Probably.
It's been in my mind since the very beginning that
But I mean, they have been changing a lot, so you know, fingers crossed.
the sound of the hall is, in my mind, it's the best place in the world to record. And also the sense of scale that it lends to a production like this is exactly what we need. It gives us this huge sound that we cannot achieve anywhere else. The other thing that is equally important is the level of the musicians here. It's a level of perfection that you don't really encounter very much.
Being there and hearing the songs has been a fantastic experience. We're looking forward to get all this great music into the game.
When Arild first approached me with this project, he said it was Dune, and I got very inspired to work. I could see so many things that we could do with the music. It is always a bit of a challenge to work on something that other people have worked on before you. Hans Zimmer's score from the films is spectacular music, and you have to take that into consideration when you're working on the same IP.
Knut is particularly interesting. He has great anthemic songs, and it was natural for me to get in touch with him when we started this project. So we experimented quite a bit in the beginning. The Dune books, there is fantastic lore. It's an established universe.
Unless
Every
TL
game,
dies. Hey man,
but it also
Year
works
2
with
did bring a lot of
limitations.
people back,
There's no
and
computers,
Year
there's
3 is
no
supposed to be
gunpowder
this year as
involved.
well, so
It's
I mean, that's
the
not bad.
Digital sci-fi slick soundscape you
it
used
is
to
not
in
bad at
games.
all.
In the game, you can
For
be any
the West,
life,
that's 2
you can belong to any
expansions
faction.
in 1
So there are
year
very few
for an MMO.
areas and situations in the game that are purely Atreides, purely Harkonnen.
They
purely
all
Fremen.
gone now?
So you
I
have
don't
to
think so. I
approach
think a
it
lot
in
of people are
different
still
way.
playing. A lot of I don't know what the
Knut is a classical
chart is now,
composer
but the
who
last time I
composes
looked,
for
it was like
orchestra.
50-ish K, no?
We started out experimenting with synthesizers, and that was a really fun exercise to see what he would come up with. We definitely wanted these heavy synths, broken up brass, and huge
They don't fix it.
barking strings.
Alright.
Wreckers is just a huge open
Hey, 47K.
ice cold at night, burning hot at day.
That's not bad.
Alone as a player, and we really needed the music to fit and work with the landscapes.
I mean, hey,
for what we want to achieve. One of the pillars we wanted to use was flow, which means how sound needs to flow over time, not be too intrusive. The next pillar was information. Information is very important to players.
MMO, by the way.
It's a big part of that. And the last pillar is evocation.
That's true. And you got the console people aren't even on Steam.
From the very beginning, we decided
Check
that
frag
music
font.
should be written in D. D because it's a very practical to write in, with everything recorded in the same tempo, in the same key. We have different parts, we have different layers. Suddenly, we have endless possibilities for variation.
The deliveries from Knut are delivered in stems, which are interchangeable and layered, so we can play around
Hey.
with it and adapt naturally to any situation.
2,000 more people, dude.
What we might start with is ambient music, supporting the...
We in the same boat, big dog. We in the same boat.
Maybe building, doing survival gameplay, just beautiful music to support the visuals. Then suddenly a war might appear, or you might
Just
be
dead.
attacked by a terrible scavenger.
Bro, all we can hope for nowadays is the next new thing to pass the X amount of time, and then on to the next new thing to pass X amount of time.
To do that.
It's so hard to like look at anything
On this project, I've been able to
as like a forever game
creative things with the music
nowadays.
that I haven't been able to really work
And it's a double-edged sword for me, because like on one hand, I don't mind games not being forever games. Like a game that drops was fun to play, and that's just it. I can play it more if I want to, but I played it and I'm happy with it. And then knowing that it can have a content drop and I come back to play the game, right? Like Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate dropped. It was what it was. They came out with patches. When patch 8 comes out and them just adding some new classes, I'm gonna go play it again, right? I mean, I've been playing it again anyway. But like,
and every now and then
I'm fine with games not being forever games. But I think a lot of games that people put out nowadays, they try too hard to be a forever game. Like, they're trying to release a game that people will like, rather than just make a good game and release it.
Write it down because you can't. You cannot write this down.
Yeah, Crosswind is the new pirate one. Have you seen it? Dell, you should sign up for Crosswind if you haven't.
We are extremely
I gotta post it in my Discord at some
to do
point.
this here and with these people. The musicians are such a high level that
Right.
you cannot really.
Oh
get
boy, I'm not gonna lie, bro. The trailer looked decent.
An amazing experience.
I'm gonna go get a drink real quick,
It's
but I'll be right back.
elevating our game.
The trailer did look decent.
In terms of iconic sounds, we try to do what we think is right, and you never know what will become iconic. It could be a small sound, it could be a UI sound reminding you of a sandstorm approaching. There's the worms, which are maybe the most iconic part of the books. It's been very interesting to work with these worms and try to come up with our own soundscape for them. In the books, they are described, I mean, sound-wise, as just hiss of sand. What you will hear when the worm approaches is you might hear your vehicle shaking, your building shaking. The sandworms are divine environmental creatures, not monsters. They will breach through the ground and make huge, breathy screams, but still we try not to make them too monster-like. Sound is increasingly important in this type of games, and in general today I think it's more respected than ever. You have the technical aspects where sound need to convey information. Sound design can tell you what's inside a box, what's the technology behind this. We want players to be able to close their eyes and just listen to the soundscape and the wind and what's going on to understand where they are, whether it's on Sheol, which is a radioactive area, the Red Desert is known as Vermilius Gap, or the opening area, Hagabas in south. It's truly wonderful to work with sound and have a great team to work with, and such an amazing IP as Dune to explore.
The most important function of music in visual media is to lend emotion to the visuals. And this is something music does better than any other thing. Another very important function of the music is to create a sense of time and space. What it does for the game is that it helps transport the player into a new universe, to a strange new world, to the world of Dune, to Arrakis.
So let's talk about the music and the audio design in Dune Awakening. Both things that are, of course, incredibly important. And I do have two exciting guests with me now. Sitting here to my left, I have Knut Avenstrup Haugen, award-winning composer on several of our games, and also Arild Iversen, who is our audio director here at Funcom. Knut, would you like to introduce yourself quickly to our viewers?
Well, you already did it, I think. I'm Knut. I'm the composer for Dune Awakening, and I also did Age of Conan and Conan Exiles for Funcom. So I've been working with Funcom for actually 22 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you work on Anarchy Online as well?
No, I didn't.
No,
that
not
was
on that one.
before.
On Secret World?
No, that
No.
was also someone else, but I started in 2003 with Age of Conan.
Age of
That's when
Conan.
we first started working on that game. So it's a long
Right.
time. Yeah.
That a lot of players here probably will recognize as well. Like the soundtrack is absolutely amazing. And as I mentioned, award-winning too. Ariel, you would like to introduce yourself quickly?
Yeah, so Harold, I've been around here for just around 2013, I think. I worked on most games since then. I didn't work on Age of Conan, but I did one sound, I think. I did a pop-up.
It was
a level up sound.
You did one sound?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome though. You can
So-
say you were involved in that too.
So, now audio direction for Dune, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
Mm.
So yeah, talking about Dune, we mentioned, Knut, that you have, of course, worked on Age of Conan and Conan Exiles. But Dune is, of course, very different in many aspects. How was it to work on Dune compared to the other games?
Yeah, so, you know, for a composer, the most interesting thing is to be able to do something new, something different. That's always very exciting and kind of gets your get you
Creative
going.
juices
Exactly.
flowing,
Yes,
yes.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
very exciting always. So it was. I was very happy to be able to start working with something like Dune because it allowed me to, well, both the Age of Conan and Conan Exiles. They have ethnic instruments and not just the orchestra, but I worked very much with the orchestra in other projects as well. So it was very liberating for me to be able to dive into a world where I could really work with
I'm back.
synthesize.
I got a Pop-Tart.
Sound design and create
And,
creating sounds and manipulating sound and kind of.
I've never had this
creating
before.
sonic,
Alani
very different
Juicy Peach.
to anything I
energy
had
drink.
done before.
Mm.
That was very, that was, I think, the most interesting or exciting aspect about starting working on Dune. So there's also another aspect of it, and that is the music in Dune is more adaptive and interactive than in the previous games we've done with Funcom. So that means that I deliver the music.
Actually
in
tastes pretty
parts
good.
In layers, and so I write complete pieces, but I also divide it up in parts and layers, and then Arild can use those parts to create new versions of the music.
Maybe it makes sense to go into that with you, like immediately. So, like, how do you? So, once the music is delivered by Knut in layers, how does it get translated, or how is it going to be used in the game?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great tracks from Knut. They were recently recorded in London, like you mentioned, and now I have, you know, all the tracks, and they come in 40 stems, that is layers. The tracks separated in anything in the orchestra. It could be flute, voice, synthesizers, various percussion,
and so there's the kind of the vertical layers, and then there's elements. I can break them apart. I'm not remixing them, but I can explore what's in the track and build it up with small segments and then into a large track. So I can use that for narrative, progression, and kind of the flow for the game. So it's really cool to work with. So yeah.
That's awesome. It's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, we use it, for instance, for in a special place we have now. I can combine certain elements of the music. Everything's in D minor. It's all in the same BPM. That's how we decided to do this. Do the music in the project so it can flow.
This thing is actually
this kind of
really good.
a little bit Trent Reznor-like sound to it that I'm not
Hey,
sure if Knut intended.
0 grams of
But
sugar.
I find small things within the music I can use before we kind of evolve into the whole track itself. So
To basically find the perfect area for some of these layers. And
absolutely.
Also, you mentioned, of course, the recording. Thank you for that. We can just go into that one because one of the very cool things with this production, specifically when it comes to the soundtrack, was that we were able to record at Ayer Studio in London, right?
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. And like it was also, like you mentioned in the video that we just saw as well, that you were super excited to be there. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
We have been very privileged to be able to record everything at Air Studios. It's one of the best recording studios in the world, and everyone who works there has been really involved in the project. They are the best you can find in the industry, the best musicians. So everything has been done at the absolute
Kilo, what you doing today, bro?
level. So we have, so that is of course extremely.
Trying to decide if I want to do anything else in Throne or I can play Tainted Grail or something. Let me yoink one of these browsers.
From what I understand, we actually had to kind of not push someone out, but we actually.
I don't know why let's
which
is a
was
word
very,
that gets
like,
auto
tricky
modded.
too.
Thing is
That makes no sense to me.
We decided to do it.
It's by default too. I didn't put it there. It's just the default auto mod just censors let's.
For 2 years already. So you need to challenge the booking, saying, okay, we can do it, and we will pay now immediately. And then they ask the previous.
Oh yeah, the pre-orders for Dune just started, I guess.
Are you willing to pay now? And if they are not, then we can take over the slot. So we were very lucky to find that slot at that time, because also Abbey Road, which is the other alternative, it's they have been refurbishing. So it was only one big studio in London at the time. So that was very fortunate.
Super lucky that we got that spot then.
Yeah, and lovely recordings. I mean, Knut did a great job already. I mean, we had the original, or we could call it the demos. I'm always a little nervous when we get the music back from the orchestra. I mean, we'll keep the same energy as Knut originally had. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And having these in separate layers as well to play around with in the music, it's great.
I've been very involved in the entire project process, of course. So it's very important that you don't just give things away and let other people take over, because they don't understand necessarily the vision, no matter how good and professional they are. You need to be there and guide them and tell them what to
Bro,
do.
this guy is gonna keep on saying let's.
Closely throughout the whole.
This guy's just gonna keep on keeping on.
The whole time we're working on it. So
Wait, try saying it like this.
very careful
Without the I wanna see.
you know, and kind of get out of control.
That's great that you can
Yeah,
have like creative control over
Yeah, it's
the
very
work.
important to have that creative control throughout the process.
And the exciting thing is that
What is
players
this
can
Twitch
actually
auto mod, bro?
listen to the soundtrack specifically if they pre-order one of the bigger pre-order editions. So you get actually a digital soundtrack, including the amazing.
I just hit a
music
101k
set
X2 guillotine, then a
So I'm
103k right
especially
before
excited
that.
for that. And
Yeah, I
we're
miss
also
using the
working
great
with
sword.
Sony, who helps us in digital distributing it. Maybe something else. that we're
I
working
miss
on?
it so much.
Anyway, so
Working on the names for the soundtrack now, so that's exciting.
Oh, okay, yeah, the actual tracks. And then I can come back and ask you which is your favorite track back then, when we have names for the tracks, actually. Okay, Ariel, how do you support, because Dune Awakening
Nah, the
has-
let's like that isn't getting auto modded.
right, and
This
it's quite important
is
that
getting
you
auto
understand
modded.
There's a lot of narrative things going on, background. So how do you support narrative?
Yeah,
and sound
see?
design? Like,
And
how do you
every
choose
time
it?
you write that,
Yeah, no.
I have to press allow.
I mean, we have a lot of mouths to feed.
I
think.
don't
Narrative has the
understand.
biggest mouth and the most important
I,
one.
I don't know what that is,
So
what kind of auto
we have
mod
excellent
system that
writers
is.
doing an amazing job, and they're also very good at incorporating kind of requests for audio in narrative. And we also have a lot of
I
freedom.
got a hair splinter, bro.
But audio is not just another technical layer; it's actually a narrative tool. So you can use audio to maybe convey.
Let me get
what's
some
racing
tweezers.
through a character's mind, change in the moment, and in a quiet scene we can.
Yeah, that's the
take
Twitch
elements
auto mod,
you
though.
see and turn them into a character themselves, or we can have a lot of methods to kind of enhance and work with narrative, even silence, or same with music. We can use music the same way to kind of convey emotions. So we work tight together, and we review things a lot, and we.
Yeah, so,
get
so,
them together.
the most important function of music in a game or in a film is to support or
Damn, bro, I like put my hand in my beard and got a fucking hair splinter.
any chance you have to
Thick ass beard
to
hairs.
the music. It's very important to do that and to kind of make an effort to tell a story with music and also to convey emotional content. So yeah, that's absolutely the most important part of music.
It goes
what
into
it does.
immersion too. It's very important for the
Exactly.
immersion as well. And if I just think about a sound design now as well, it's like I recently in the latest build I played through the paint box scene, like the start of the game, the character creation part, and I noticed there's now a new sound there that is. It's not loud, but it's very high pitched in the background, and you just notice it, and it's really. It almost gives me that like, ooh, dentist type of feel. It makes me like, ooh, clench my buttocks in a way. It's like, oh, there's something really like, it really grates you. And I feel like that is so fantastic to do that. And I think that's really what makes good sound design too. Or like we talk about, what is it called? The brown note for horror movies, right?
Oh,
Which
yeah.
is supposedly a myth, I was told earlier. So
Oh,
you
well,
can't
it's in
actually
there.
make...
If people put on their subwoofers and good headphones, maybe they get a bit of those 13 hertz, but
we don't have it in the game yet, though, right? We maybe we'll have it in the game at one point.
we'll see.
So it's like, yeah, it doesn't actually do what the myth is. It makes it do the brown note, but it just creates this eerie like.
Well,
But
there's this
that's
kind of
another
the nuclear
aspect, right?
furnace in the stomach of the sandworm in the end of it. So.
Yes, talking about the sandworm. So how did you come up with the sound for the sandworm? Because that is a very iconic thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, everything we do is an iterative process. It has to work for the game. Obviously, we're trying to align with the films as well. Amazing sound design in the films. The Worm has its own language, but in our game, it's alive. So it's always moving around. You should be able to hear it from a distance. So we need to find a way where it actually feels good and it's not too intrusive, and that's pretty challenging. But we are.
If they said it, I kind of miss them coming back from their break.
It's raw and
I don't know if there's
mentioned it before. It's not
if there's
a
anything
monster.
else they're
It's
gonna
one feature.
show.
It's part
It's
of
like
the
not this
process.
music thing.
And
Yeah.
it's not, I feel it's not just the audio either. It's like the music builds up when.
This is
you
boring.
actually
Yeah, I
find
mean
the
it's
worm.
it's just about music
It's
now.
similar with sandstorms too. Like after a while, understanding of what's actually going to happen.
Exactly.
Just through the music, the sounds, the audio, and that alone is like very immersive too. Like it just gets you into the flow of things, and I feel that's also very important.
I don't know what I want to do. I kind of want to fuck with some Tainted Grail, but I don't know.
Be able to use the music and to have the music adapt to what's going on. So that also why we're working in layers and parts, and then we can start the music when we need it to start.
Yeah, it does, and sometimes it doesn't. It's really cool to work on. So right now we might have moments where you will be in a battle, you'll be attacked by NPCs, and then you have players, and then the worm comes on top of this, and there's different
Tons of
music
things
coming
that you need
around
to-
to be
yeah.
working on the balance, and it's.
So
pretty challenging.
maybe one last thing before we close off this segment. The community.
Oh,
I personally really love it. Like you were working, of course, on it actively. So can you tell us what that is?
yeah, in the game we have something called CommuniNet, which is kind of the platform for communication in the game. In there we have a radio, and we have a fantastic team of writers they've been making these radio shows that represents each faction. Really fun to listen to, and we have music too, which will pay some kind of tribute to the legacy of Dune music. So stay tuned for that. That's all I can say.
So you can turn it on or you can turn it off. So you can listen to your faction propaganda, like Atreides propaganda or canon propaganda. There's like podcasts and things. So as you mentioned, the narrative team has been really amazing, has done really amazing work on that too. And it's really fun to listen to those actually. Plus also, as you mentioned, music. So that's going to be very exciting.
And not the least, fantastic work by my designers in the team. So
everyone involved,
sounds really
including
good
the
now,
sounds
so.
and the music, of course. That is also part of that radio. So yes, Knut, to finish this up, is there any or are there any specific channels that we can Spotify that we can follow you and find your other work?
Yes, well, I'm on Spotify. There are some things there, but much more is on its way. And I also have I've never been a social media person, but I've finally created an Instagram account, and I'm updating it, and there's going to be kind of steady updates there in the time to come. But it's kind of a new thing, but I'm there.
Awesome, that's great. I think from what I understand, we also have those links in the chat. So if you're interested, make sure to give definitely the Instagram a follow so we can build up his community there. And also check him out on Spotify. Knut, Ariel, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm definitely, both of you, very busy schedule. You, of course, with the project, I think you probably also with other projects. So really appreciate you being here. And yes, and we are going into our next segment, which is going to be monetization and our pre-orders. But before we do that, we have a short, beautiful video of Arrakis.
Bro, this thing is actually super good. Except it's got a vegan label on the front of it, so it makes me feel a little iffy. It's an energy drink called a Alani Juicy Peach with a very plumptuous looking peach on the can with something, I don't know what that is on it. That's a fruity drink. Hey bro, I was gonna get a Monster and I seen they had some peach energy drink. I wasn't looking at the vegan sticker. I mean, yeah, then opposed to a Monster. They're both, I like the sugar-free Monsters though. They're both sugar-free though. This bitch got 200 milligrams of caffeine in it. Man, I wish they would let someone fly that, like, the risk taker flying, you know? Because you could do some sick maneuvers in this game with the way the flying is. You know, give me this soundtrack. The no HUD without my watermark on it. I could make a banger. The locations are really cool in Dune though. That was the last thing, right? Or what? The shockwave from
Welcome back,
the
and we are
the
talking
spice
now
explosion?
about our business model for Dune Awakening and also the pre-orders that just went live a few hours ago. And here with me now to talk about
Yeah,
this,
like
we
the
have
planes or the
Ole
spacecrafts
André,
crashing
lead producer on
and
Dune
the spice
Awakening.
explosions and stuff
Welcome,
sounds so
welcome,
good in the
and
game.
yes,
Even the
do
worms
you
like
wanna
coming
give
out of
us
the
a
ground.
chat quickly?
Yeah, sure.
Like it
My
echoes
name
and you
is
can hear
Ole
it from
Andreas
so
Bailey.
far away.
I've been working at Funcom for 3.5 years. Started on Dune Awakening, and I'm the lead producer, as you mentioned. So I'm producing, making sure that the teams just have the information they need, and make sure that they are producing at as high velocity as they can, and making sure.
Not Dell, sorry. Des was telling me that the
Kinda,
next
yeah.
update should
They're
be
nice
out
cats,
soon.
though.
Like
I
he
was
said, like
watching
next
the
week or
stream.
something.
I was watching the stream, and I mean, I love this team. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I absolutely love every single person that works for Funcom. Like, we are a fantastic team as well.
Yeah.
Working really hard too. But anyway, let's talk about our business model.
Yes,
Wanna
let's
go?
do.
Yes, we just recently had a video from Joel, but some people here might not have seen that, so maybe it's good to just.
Yeah, I
dive
can
into
give a
it.
small little reminder or like a recap of what was discussed there. So, the business model for Dune Awakening is just as Joel said it. We're not going to be releasing early access. It's going to be a full game at launch, a full launch, and then we're doing a DLC.
I feel like they changed that, right? I swear the last time I seen
DLCs,
it was gonna
and
be
then
a
we're gonna
early
do
access release in May,
pre-orders,
right?
but then there's a season pass where you can get the first 4 DLCs included.
Correct. And also, I know there was a little bit of confusion about the wording, because people were like, "Oh, you do Head Start," so you said you don't do early access and thing. But early access is basically what Steam calls games that get released and then like grow over time in terms of not being fully like what's the term, like feature complete in that sense, right? So they're like kind of bare bone when they get released, and then you basically finance the development by going into early access and selling the game that way. But the head start that we have basically just means you can play 5 days before the normal like orders or the normal start is for the game, basically. So.
Exactly. So yeah, it's not an early access game per se then. So I guess we can jump into some of the.
Yes,
other
we can
topics.
actually go into the pre-orders. So hopefully we'll have the image on screen relatively soon.
So
There
the
we go.
ultimate edition
Now we have the different editions. Maybe you want to.
Yeah, we can.
drops with
So you have
everything.
your standard edition, which is going to be the base game as it is, and then it
$50
includes a
base
scenario
game.
of Muad'Dib, which is awesome. I hope we can show
My
that.
favorite. That's the
Ultimate edition,
Anyway, so
89
it's-
buckaroos.
Yeah, hopefully. And then it'll also include the Sunset Die global swatch. We can talk a little bit about swatches when we get to maybe showcase that. But yeah, we have a customization system in the game where you can customize stuff.
Yeah, I
like
mean, the
vehicles,
DLC thing
weapons,
is really
armors,
all you're gonna like. The game and
in
the
terms of
season
swatches, but
pass
also
is
then,
kind of all you really need.
different, I guess swaps.
It doesn't really look like you get much from the
it's a 3D model
ultimate.
swap, basically.
Oh, skin.
Yeah, skin.
A skin.
Just like soundtrack. I don't know what
So
this
that's the
film
standard
suit
edition,
is.
and then
or
you'll have
film
your
still
deluxe
suit
edition,
thing.
which then includes your head start. which
These
will
are
take
paints,
you
so
to
you
50
get
days,
like
so
a
5 days,
paint for your ornithopter and your
so
sand
it's
bike. So
10 days
like
before the official launch.
whatever, I
And
guess.
then, you'll have the season pass, which includes the 4 DLCs. That they're outlined a little bit on the Steam page, I think. So we already have some information out about them. But yeah, and then you have the Sardaukar Batar armor, basically. And then you have your Ultimate Edition, which includes a Caladan Palace building set,
I think maybe we have some visuals for that as well.
We do.
It looks awesome. And then you have the Dune 2021 film still suit, and then the digital art book and the digital soundtrack. And then lastly, you'll have your Blue Dasher Ornithopter's watch, and then the Dusk Rider Sandbite.
Yeah, I feel like it's most likely just a
It's a lot
deluxe
of
angle.
Quite a lot of stuff. Yes. We can probably go into.
I'm gonna be
some of
honest,
the assets that we
It's
can
been a
show you
long
at
time
least.
since I've
My
seen a
favorite-
game with the
our
Ultimate
favorite-
Edition that's actually worth
it's adorable.
even
I'm
getting.
just gonna, like, sit
Or
in
like-
space and look at it all
Like
day.
collector's
I like
editions are
those.
different.
I
The
mean,
collector's
the worm
editions,
is out there, it's
always
dangerous,
cool.
It's gonna eat you. I can just sit inside and watch
It's
this.
just
I love
so
like the
adorable. Like, what I
figurines
love
and stuff like
about
that.
the
The
fact that
even
you know,
games
because
that I
it
don't
doesn't
like
build
that. Like
animations, you don't actually see
I just like
digging down
the
into
collector's
Yeah,
editions of
so
things,
there's-
right? Like the
there's
physical
just a few
stuff.
different things. It's
But
burnout,
ultimate
it's
editions
sad,
of
it's
games, I feel like they
adorable.
never
So it's an awesome thing to decorate your.
they never really
base
release it with
base
anything
building
worth.
and creating
It's like
your little crib.
you're
also
paying
find
extra
one
$30
interesting
to get
world
like the
too. It's like
soundtrack
you
or
will
some
find
shit.
in
Like
the
you know what I mean? Some digital
you
art and a
can
soundtrack,
theoretically
some skin in
manipulate
game.
a lot,
It's like,
which I'm still
bro,
a little bit-
It
I
give
don't
them
know
something,
about
you
the
know,
decisions, but I'm
something
still a bit bitter
cooler.
about that. But anyway, yeah, that's another.
you,
topic for
it's a
discussion.
choice though. You don't have
It's a
to
choice.
kill
That's
it.
true. It's a choice. Yes, you're very correct. Here we see. one
She's
of the
excited about a
features,
game. We
so
better be. I
obviously
just
the
love
armor
Dune.
have default
I've
colors
loved
when you
Dune
first cross
for the
them,
longest. I've
first
read all
level,
of Dune, watched
and
all
then
of
you
Dune.
have, like,
I
a
love
physics
Dune.
watch
Yep.
The
that you can
game,
then
I mean, I've
use.
played this
Like, there's
game
tons of
a
different
decent
color
amount.
swatches.
Yeah, so now
that you
you're
can use.
seeing.
I know
armor
what to
with the swatch,
expect.
So if you didn't apply the swatch,
I'm
you
not
would,
gonna, you know,
have the default swatch on it. It would look a bit different. So this is,
oversell it or anything like that.
cool,
But
cool
I can
vibe,
say
so-
that I'm 100% gonna be playing it when it
It's a good,
comes
like,
out.
for a guild, for example, to have a specific swatch.
It'll be one of those
For
games
sure.
that's like
Yeah.
And, like, rip this
extremely
and
fun
then
while
if
it's
you
popping.
have an example of a
And as it dies down, it won't be as fun. So being there when it first comes out and playing,
I love our
basically like all the other titles that are in this genre, like these survivals, it's fun as hell.
I have a preference towards the Harkonnen versions, but
Yeah, Harkonnen skins look super cool in this
It
game.
might or might be the reason that I'm going Harkonnen faction because of the ornithopter.
Oh.
Who knows? And here we see the building set, which is really beautiful.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. So yeah.
All right, that's kind of cool though. If you get a
which
whole
of all
building
the
set
different
for it.
pieces that are part of this building set, do you remember? Do you know as a?
Oh, I don't remember.
Quite a few, I
off the top of
think.
my
I don't
head.
remember either, unfortunately. But there's a lot
It's
of
those
the
pit.
small
It's all the
things. I'm not
wooden
sure if
things,
it
pretty much.
includes the actual walls. That's what I was actually. Just
I don't think the
wondering.
walls are included. So it's the furniture that is included here.
Yeah,
So it's.
right.
I think those
all the,
walls are
tables and
included.
benches and the decorations and yeah. The
The-
stuff.
'Cause
of
I don't-
course,
I
the
don't
actual
remember
is
seeing
the
those
bull
walls.
scene
Mm.
down
With the
there,
wood in
like
'em?
The bullfighting scene, which
Oh, man.
will of course make sense to people who know the lore and who know the books.
And I think in the segment before, when you showcased the base building, that was that a Chome building set? And you can see here, there's like different types of building sets that you can
Yes.
use as well. So then you can mix and match a little bit. So you can have your Calden Palace building set in your Chome building or your Trades style buildings. It's gonna be fun building bases on Dune, I think.
Exactly.
My base looked pretty
Right,
cool.
and
I messed
now we
around with
have,
it
of
quite a
course,
bit.
The frame blade. So we still have our benchmark and the character creator available for free on Steam as well. If you download that and if you go through it, you can make your character.
Just
before
blast a
release, you will
2-star
have a
real
save file
quick.
that you can then import. You can also run the benchmark to see if your hardware is up to speed to run Dune Awakening and how it will run. And if you do that, you also get this unique knife skin, the frame blade, which is basically skin for the first knife, the starter knife that you get. So
Yeah, I
you can
think more games need to realize like how cool skins can be,
exactly.
and
It
like
looks really vicious. It looks really
how
vicious.
much people
Like,
are
like
willing
all the
to
drops and
just
things, oof.
invest in something for skins. Like selling them the skins themselves, like
Good idea, yeah, good idea. Or
isn't
maybe
really a
it's
great
something like
approach.
that.
Like I'm gonna be honest, the way
One thing to
the
mention
way that
about DLC,
Assassin's
if you have
Creed
questions,
is doing
there's
it,
some information on the
pretty bad
page.
in my opinion. You don't want to just pick up a $70
Itself,
single player game
some information about the-
and they're instantly selling you $20
Yes.
skins.
So we have like first
Like that's just
second is cosmetics and some
kind of silly in my opinion.
story
Like
there.
optional, like nothing that you actually need to buy or need to have, and then more cosmetics. But yes, we
But I
can
think it's
go
But
into
like
maybe
doing
mention
stuff
because I
incentive wise
think
and
that's
like
really
rewarding
interesting as well,
skins, like
because
people
we're not,
will
there's no-
definitely be
there's
interested.
No, we're not selling power
No,
in the DLCs.
it's not pay to win.
It's
That's
not pay
very
to win.
important to us. Yes.
And the Dune game is structured into tiers. So you'll have tiers of enemies and weapons, but none of the DLCs will sell you something that
A higher tier,
gives you a higher
basically.
tier.
Yes. So we will always have the same tiers in another area that is not that you don't have to pay for. Like we will never sell you a higher tier in.
Ah, damn.
I've seen that asked somewhere, so I just wanted to clarify that.
No, I think that's really great. Absolutely. So another thing that we
Oh.
actually were
07.
seeing here and there is like that people were a little bit afraid about Head Start and like what happens if like some of my guild members start early and I can't. Will I still be able to play on the same server?
I mean,
And
that's
one of the things that players
everybody
were
dies there. I'm gonna be
so
honest
we
with
do
you.
actually have a little bit of an image here,
that one,
and
yeah.
only
I
other
can't help
maybe,
it that I do. I just kill everything at
Yes,
once,
we have
bro.
a blog post about this topic as well, so there might be some. You can go and search it up. But
The
basically,
only thing that's gonna save you is your healer.
What you see there is the Haga Basin is where you start. There is a player cap there, but there's also a queue system, so you can. There's not like it wouldn't stop after 40 players. You can still come in later, and then queue up.
Yes.
But then, in addition to those Haga basins that are instanced there, you also have the social hubs and the deep desert, which is a shared instance between the entire world. So I don't think that should be a big concern, really. I think there will be a good chance that you'll be able to play with your friends for sure.
Yes, like basically. It's not like the Haga Basin instance that your friends start playing on will be full and you won't be able to join at all. It will just be potentially be a queue if it's like super busy, right?
Yes.
And then we've also seen, of course, concerns about the deep desert and how people, how does that work?
Yeah, I think we've talked a little bit about that as well on the blog and in different videos. But yes, so the deep desert is a meshed 3x3 server grid. So you go there, it's the same instance for all of the Haga basins. So when you're getting to the end game and you participate in the Lance Rad, I'm not going to go into that, but which is one of our end game systems, you might all be going to the deep desert fighting for the same reason or the same resources, the same territories, and then it's basically a gigantic map that's 9 times the size of Haga Basin, and you go there and you'll meet other people from other Haga Basins as well and fight over that. And it's the majority of it is PvP, so it's the bottom layer where you enter the map is where it's PvE, so you can go in there in safety, gear up, build your outposts and start getting ready, and then you can go out and you can have those PvP skirmishes out in the deep desert. There is some concern I think I've seen around people. Oh, what if I'm PvE player?
If I do the B3 grind, wait, what do you mean the B3 grind?
And go to the deep desert. We've seen this in the beta though. Like people who are PvE players actually go out in the deep desert and they still manage to lurk around and get some stuff out there.
Yes, like tip their toes basically into the so it's not that scary, like as long as you don't get, like, where all the big guilds just fight it out and stuff. So still, like, there's still opportunities.
Could use some of my shit.
Players specifically as well, but also like PvE players specifically. So and there's also what I think is very cool is that there's lots of different opportunities and things that a PvE player can actually contribute to the Landsrot. It's not just PvP.
Correct.
But more on that later. Yep. So there's a lot of things there too. But yes, I do think we have actually covered most of the things that
we did a bunch of Nebula earlier, so I was just juiced through like 3 hours of my Nebula earlier.
From chat. And while we're preparing those, we also get Jeff back in.
Did I ever open all my bags actually? Oh no, I didn't.
Of course, also the reason that we have or we want the questions to be in regards to the topics that we actually covered today, because we have guests on that can actually answer those questions really well, while we might get questions otherwise that these guests are not qualified to answer, right? They work in different departments, so that's also one of the reasons. So yeah, I think once Jeff is here, he's actually walking in right now.
Hello, Jeff.
Welcome back, Jeff.
Oh, hi.
All right.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Oh, hi. Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour.
Bonjour,
Bonjour.
monsieur. Canadien. Okay,
Yes.
yes, so we will start with some questions that we collected from chat. Just wait.
I'm just
for the
evading all
first
this, I
one
guess.
to pop up. Obivana, what a cool name.
Obi-Wana.
asks, is voice chat available in game? You wanna
Yes.
answer that maybe?
There is
Okay,
indeed.
spoilers.
Next
yes.
one.
Yes.
So-
Well,
I got some extra stones too.
so it's like
It's proximity chat. It'll be so you'll have to enable it. Basically, it'll be disabled by default, but you can go in and enable it if you want. Yes.
all right. There we
Simple
go.
as that. Yes, I hope they're all easy like this.
I'm pretty sure some people are like, no, it should be enforced at all times. You know, like other games have it like a death count, like if you kill someone and it just opens up their microphone.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be.
Yannick, man.
Yo,
asks,
that
will
is
you have
hilarious.
control support?
And you guys remember when Call of Duty first came out?
But yes,
Warzone.
the game was built with
Tell me
controllers,
that
right?
shit wasn't fucking
So this is one
hilarious,
of the
bro.
things when
Killing somebody and just hearing him
got on board, that was
legitimately
before,
calling you the hard R
directions
to
that
himself,
was giving,
but his mic is open. Now that's just comedy, bro.
So what you want is
This,
really good
that's just.
So you can pick up your.
I don't know, dude. That is
controller and-
out of all my time gaming, bro.
Plug and play.
That's probably the
Right,
funniest
also
shit
because it's way
I've
easier
ever
to
got to
control
witness in gaming history.
than it is for controllers. So
It's
being that
just
person
someone
that
being
was actually quite a smart
racist, unaware
Sometimes
that their
prefer
voice can be
to
heard.
get the rumble as well.
From
Like the
one
first few
specific area,
days of
it would actually
Warzone being
throw me
out,
because
I would hear
hate
the
it. It's like
funniest
that
shit
I don't like
on the
playing
comms when you
I'm
body
a mouse
someone.
and keyboard player through and through for any genre. But I had my controller connected and on the side, and and it started like, and it freaked me out. It was a great moment. I was like,
Nice.
really on brand too for
Yeah,
the worm.
exactly.
So yeah. Shadow's thoughts asks, are contracts forced co-op or can I do them solo?
Can do everything solo. Like 99.9% of the game can be done solo. We've seen people in the beta doing spice harvesting solo.
Oh,
Like flying the transportopter with the harvester, going out, driving the harvester, coming back, taking
It's
the thing.
definitely more
Yeah,
work.
so it's a
definitely
lot
not
more
as
work.
efficient. I
Everything
just
can be done solo, but not
mentioned
everything
that
is
too, but you
efficient.
can,
So,
yes.
but yes, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of
Oh,
want to change my drip up.
I hope I didn't butcher that name. If I did, I apologize. How big is Deep Desert?
I mean, they're
Is it
just
still
answering
going to be
questions now.
several
I'm just gonna
zones
make
and
this
meshes,
smaller.
Or is population going to be smaller than we expected?
I think we answered this. So
Did you?
yeah, we did just before you came. It's well, you can do the repeats then. Go for it.
Let's see if you see
Just
the same.
what
Pajamas
he
soon?
said,
I should
what
have.
he
I
said.
should have watched the thing when you were talking.
What he said.
Well, the other is big. I think it's 576.
When does this
or
shit spawn?
something like this, but I don't have much more to say if you already talked about it, right? I'm trying to look at the other question. Is population going to be smaller than we expected? I don't know. What are people expecting? I don't
I
know.
am not really sure either.
We talked
Is
about
population
1,000
going to be
players
smaller
or
than we
something like
expected?
this. So.
I mean, we've said several.
Oh shit, I didn't
times,
switch to
I said several
PvP.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's still the case.
Yes. And yes, it's
We'll-
several
we'll
zones.
see if-
There's several servers stuck together. You can cross them seamlessly, and but yeah, it's a vast open sand area with the little tidbits here and there, right? So it's big. That's really big.
It's a lot of little tips.
Yes.
So it's Viz LA.
Me
asks,
unmute my
will
Discord.
Cargo Basin be full PvP?
No.
Nope.
We did touch on that a little bit when we talked about the shipwreck and the Imperial testing stations. So you will have full PvE areas where you can't be attacked whatsoever. Also important, your base in Haga Basin won't be able to be attacked.
Nope.
As long as it has shield up, it won't get destroyed either. Yes.
The Haga Basin is mostly 98% PvE. The Deep Desert
Yes.
is
So we have the
98%
shipwrecks,
PvP.
It's the
and
flip.
we have the
It's the
shipwrecks
flip,
that
and we have the
are, like,
shipwrecks that are
kinda-
just
yeah.
a little dip your toe if you want to, and you know.
And I guess you talked about it in your stream as well. The places in Haga Basin that are PvP are the shipwrecks.
Exactly.
Except for the
yes.
first one.
Except for the first one, yes.
Correct.
I get a.
Just to ease people into things. you
Also,
know.
we actually, the one we entered was actually one of the smaller ones.
Yeah, it was
Right,
super
yes.
tiny. Yeah, I wanted
Yeah.
to say that. I forgot earlier, but yeah.
There you go.
We have really big shipwreck, but I didn't want it to spoil anything during the stream, so I was like, let's go to this tiny one,
small one.
instead. Yes.
Yes.
And Camille did like half of it, so yeah. Just
Mixer is asking, there will be timers for bases to decay like in Conan Exiles?
Yes. So we have some decay mechanics for the bases. So as long as your base is powered, it is shielded, and as long as it's powered and shielded, you can't destroy it. I think you mentioned it as well.
Yes.
So then, as long as you do that, that's fine. And
I don't
if
even think
your
there's a
base
point
is
in
right
me
now in the
anchoring
beta
another,
for weeks and
or like like if I guess there's probably is.
So if you go on
I'm in a bad spot because it's like
I think it's 21.
if I
yes.
But yeah.
if I
But
were
once the shield
to
goes down, the sounds
unlock
start appearing
this,
at your
I don't
base.
think I can anchor a tier
So,
2
yes,
weapon to
and
12 with this.
there's
I
two
think there's some
types of
weird shit with
subclass.
tier 1
I don't
arc
wanna
boss
go into this. I
weapons
think you're gonna have
where it
to-
only anchors it to like 9 or some shit like that.
We talk about,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So it's not gonna
So
be
I need to
like
like get a
Conan, but
tier
we have
2
some
weapon to
consider
plus
make sure that
12,
we get
which
rid
kind of
things
sucks
when
because
people
I
leave the game for too
have
long.
both of my arc boss
But it's
weapons at 12.
also easier to abandon your base too. Like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
if you want to
absolutely.
move and because we have a set limit of how many bases you can have.
Mhm.
So
You and
it's-
Sma
we
have
a
matching
way
names?
to
Yeah,
do
dude.
things like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Also, thanks to a lot of the beta testers, by the way, for their input.
Shout
on
outs.
this.
Shout outs.
I didn't notice we got a
Absolutely.
staff yesterday.
Salty Scrampy, that name too.
Salty
You have
Scrampy.
such amazing names. It's like
Salty
Salty Scrampy from Twitch asks, can you build
Yeah.
anywhere?
I want to like
The answer is kind of yes. We have places in the game that we
get
make
a
sure
melee
that
set
we
rolling, but I
don't
still need to
build
get
the
my
bases,
set finished.
because we don't want players to go build.
I didn't mean to press that.
The
Let me
Atreides fortress and then build a base on it. You know.
Dip outta
we
here
don't
real
want players
quick.
to build inside or around a trade post and on main roads to make sure that people don't block. But yes, you can.
You can build in a lot of places in
anywhere,
this.
including on the sand.
was
Just
like-
don't do it. Just as like
was like-
when you place the sub thief, it's Halsman tech. It attracts the worm instantly, so you can build on the sand, but Shai Hulud is gonna num at your base.
Yeah, if you feel very spicy, you can try to build on the sand.
And
see
it
what
happens
happens.
to a lot of players. There's a lot of players in the beta
It
who
happens
built on the
to
sand.
our developers
Yeah,
too.
It happened
to me,
I saw
dude.
a post recently.
It happened to
somewhere,
me.
it's like, am I
Where's my
supposed
base?
to build on Slag? Where's my
Yeah.
base? I was
Where's
like,
my
wow.
base now? Well, just check your log.
Mr.
Destroyed by
Chompy.
Shai Hulud. Oh yeah, here we
Mr.
go.
Chompy got
Yeah,
it, yes.
exactly.
Hey, 197 for that bad boy.
Daniela on YouTube asked, are there wind traps like the ones in Dune 2000?
There are wind traps.
But not like in the one in Dune 2000. We
A
have
quick
have our own
little.
no, but yes, yes, but no.
Yes, but
I'm not
no.
exactly sure. Yeah, we have
Money.
our own wind traps that is more in line with the movies.
I think they look very cool, by the way.
Yes.
I just really
Yeah,
like how they look.
And they're really useful when you have a base.
Yes. Very
Oh
much so.
yes,
Very
100%.
efficient too.
Oh yes.
Yes. Football goat, like we had with the names, love it, on YouTube asked, can you attack from the ornithopter?
Build damage boost
Yes.
on the ring of
Can.
power.
Ornithopters can be equipped with a rocket launcher module.
You can even stand on the ornithopter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was reading the question. I'm
124.
like,
Yeah, that's
you
what
can
I...
also kind of like it's a sandbox.
You-
It's a sandbox game, so you can like Shiga Warrior Claw
Yes.
and stand on top of a topter
Yes.
with a last gun.
Yes.
And weep.
We
Yes.
did that in a playtest internally.
Yes.
Alex.
Well, shit, dude,
one
I
of our
needed the
combat,
nymph coil.
designers, or the combat designer, basically.
Nice.
He told us, get on the battle bus. Everyone got
Another
a-
band.
Get on the battle bus.
Yes, the
Get
battle
on
bus.
the battle bus. I love
So
that.
it was basically a
Get on the battle
transport
bus.
ornithopter with
Yep.
5 people on top with like las guns and.
That's something Alex would do.
miniguns.
Absolutely, 100%. Yes.
It was
So you
fun.
kind of, I guess, yes, you can attack from the ornithopter.
You can attack with the ornithopter,
Yes.
and you can
And-
attack from
and
the
from,
ornithopter as well.
exactly.
Yes. 100%.
Oh, one thing worth mentioning, I don't know if it's been mentioned before, but you can also attack from seated vehicles if it's open.
Yes, if it's open windows.
Yeah, also, if you sit in a buggy, you can pew-pew with your guns when the other one is...
It's the same, yes, and you also have guns equipped on the buggy too.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's lots of options. Mr. Webco on Twitch asks, will there be different types of ground and flying vehicles?
Yes.
Yes, 100%. We have
Tons of
we call
different
them
ones,
ground
different
cars, but
sizes.
yeah,
ground
we have
cars, yes.
we have the sandbag, the buggy,
Okay, I don't know about tons.
the famous Topter,
And of course, the harvester.
the
Yeah.
harvester,
And
we
we
have-
have all different kinds of flying vehicles too,
Yeah.
including the transport ornithopter.
transport Topter.
And the cool thing, because like we have flying vehicles of different sizes as well, like classes.
Yeah.
So some of them can have passengers and not.
It's basically like a small, medium, large.
Modular.
Yes.
So you can kind
And
of
yeah,
change your
modular
own
stuff.
Experience, so whatever you want.
They
So
got a bike, they
I was
got a
driving
buggy,
around
they
with
got a
buggy
harvester.
one day, and then we swapped
They
the
got a
axles for
ornithopter,
the
a
micro.
medium transport, and
Yeah,
a
well, the
large
two-person
transport
ground
one.
vehicle as well, like you can have an extra.
And they're
seat
modular.
and or we've shown that
Like,
in
more
videos before.
inventory.
Different
Or
parts you
can
could put
have
on
a-
them.
Yeah,
Yes,
or-
Camille, when he was playing earlier, he had a boost and a scanner.
Yep.
It can do a lot of things.
Yeah, you can
Yep.
just customize it.
Let me check me quest log.
Alrighty. Oh, that's difficult to pronounce. Oh dear God.
Let me check.
Scomazo? No, wait, hang on. One. That's a one in the end.
Xomase 1.
Oh,
Xomase
X-
1.
SXOmaze 1.
Yes.
I'll do it that. I apologize if I butchered your name. On Twitch, ask, is there any information for when Dune comes to consoles?
Not
No.
right now,
Not right now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
but it is coming. That's what
Yes,
Yes,
it is
absolutely.
coming.
Mondem007 ask, can speak to private server purchases. Oh, okay. So we are still, we know that private servers is something that the community really wants. The player
Let's
really
see.
we know it's very important for the role-playing community specifically.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that go into decisions.
I think I
and
just need to
technical
finish
aspects when it comes to
leveling
private
up.
servers. There's one, how much can you mod them? Can we allow it to be modded? But then
Trying to see
especially
what
our
stats I'm
structure is,
missing.
somewhat complicated, and it needs to be taken into consideration for that as well. So at this point,
Yeah, it's
we
probably
are
just
very
dumping
aware
that
of
into
the
my
mod, and we are
perception.
actually looking into options to potentially be able to do it, but we can't really promise or say anything specific at this point.
Yo, what's up, Dink? I appreciate the raid, man. Hope you're doing good. I was sitting here
All right. EcoDad75 again, fantastic name.
watching some info. They're having a Dune that's coming out. I don't know if you're familiar with the
There is
Dune game that's
information
coming up.
about the time frame for them.
But welcome, people.
I believe.
I think
So
yes.
it's
Yes.
every
And also
2 to 4 months.
doing some of my dungeon stuff.
That cadence, yes. Also, I think what's important to mention here, because we mentioned
Just missing a cloak and ring. Yeah, I'm trying to.
in the we mentioned this in past,
This is not the gear that I want to
other
use at all, but I
business
wanted to
parts,
pick it up
and it's
for
important to this is the
PvE
name that
regardless.
Steam gives.
So I was like, oh, whatever. I
Yes,
bought it
bundles.
since it was
So
cheap.
that has nothing to do with Battle Pass or anything like that. It's really
But
just what
I'm probably gonna
Steam
actually try to pick up the rest of my
bundles with
pieces
this.
soon,
That's
since
why
the
it's
dungeon's
also
out now.
Season Pass on our end as well.
Yep.
A lot of the parts I needed are getting a lot cheaper. I mean, I got this. I got my boots.
Kill someone within PvP. Do you prop everything?
Dude, I
or are you
actually
fully lootable?
got my boots for 10 lucent.
Swear a little bit.
First you swear.
Augers.
That's the first thing that happens.
I definitely will.
Then you
like a
respawn. Then you try to get back to your.
Yeah, bro. I got my
the
boots
other is
for
not there.
a
But
whopping
no, it's
10
not.
lucent.
Your hope is there, and you. But no, it's
Yeah,
not
as soon as I
fully
woke up today, I
in the
woke up,
game.
opened my
You
auction house when I got
You
on,
lose durability. You lose.
clicked on my favorite
all your
tab.
spice, all
I
your
seen a
cash,
10 and I like
celerity,
blinked twice, bro.
resources,
I was like, what am I
and things
doing?
like
I just
There
clicked on
is
it,
a
instantly bought
thing
it.
That can happen though in the game.
There is a thing that can happen that can modify.
Modify that.
But I want to get the
for
rest of
what-
the pieces I want.
Yes.
I don't think we're gonna
No.
go deeper into it.
We talk about that. We talk
But
about
yeah,
that
by
later.
default, no. full
Basically
coverage.
want to run 2-piece Lotus, 2-piece Spectral, I think, for what I'm trying to do.
Fist of the Walrus. Hey, I remember that
Want
name.
these pieces to go a little cheaper, but
Shout out to Fist of the Walrus. Asked, important question. Can you pet the worm?
From the inside, yes.
You can take a look it up. You can take a
Solid
look
about the
at
Dune
it.
game. Not sure how much I end up liking it. I think it's gonna be one of those like fun for the beginning type of things, you know, like
Is that petting to you?
get in there in the
Like that?
beginning, enjoy it while it's there,
Do you
and
have pets? Do you
what
have
happens
pets?
happens.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So-
Good. Good. We're glad.
You
we're
bought
all
the
glad
gloves
you
and
have those
pants,
many
bro.
pets.
I'm
Alright,
very
cool.
tempted.
And I think this
I
is
mean, I got the
last question.
Lucent, and I've been waiting. I
Yes.
just feel like the
Moxer
prices
81
aren't going
asks,
down, bro.
What is the maximum size of guilds?
They go up, yeah.
It's 32.
32
now. Yeah, I think
32
that's
now.
what's
I
gonna
do
Yes,
need my
and the
helmet.
servers are 40 and I think or something like that.
These are like the
You-
last
you can have
four
like four
pieces
groups,
I
third
need
party.
that I can get at the
So it's
moment.
32.
So,
Yeah.
you know, the copium,
Also, since
whenever
it
I'll
didn't
be
come
able to
out,
get
but we can
these.
Probably mention it actively.
I don't even know.
Since we saw like battle pass, season pass, and all that confusion again. Season pass is.
I feel
what's
like a
involved
giant
in
desert is a
season
terrible
bundles.
setting for an
We
MMO.
do not have
I
a
mean,
battle pass
No.
in
No battle
Dune Awakening.
pass.
No battle
I
pass. No
see what
in-game
you're saying,
monetization of any kind.
but I mean, I've already played the game,
Yes.
so for
That
me,
was the last question.
I have like a different view of it.
exciting. That
That's
was-
good.
That was our
You got to
first
remember
one.
that like
Like,
the open desert
person on
isn't
my
really
live
where
stream, had a few
you
hiccups here and
are
there, but
in
hey,
Dune. It's just where you
we can
travel
learn, we can
through.
improve. I mean, if it would have been
The
perfect, we
open
wouldn't do it
desert,
anymore,
that's
so
where the
that's
wormies are
it,
at.
right?
You
So
know, you're just gonna die if
there's
you're
more
just chilling out in the desert all the
coming
time.
down in the future, more opportunities to ask questions. Ole Andreas, Jeff, thank you.
But I
so
do
much.
get what you're saying. I mean, it's also not like a.
Also to everyone who joined
It's
us
not like
today,
an
either on Twitch, on
MMO like
YouTube,
Throne or
on
anything like
Steam.
that,
Yeah,
right?
on Steam,
The
I think we,
PvP
on
area is
as
supposed to
well.
be
Thank you
big,
so much
like
for
a ton
tuning
of
in.
players,
We
but
appreciate you
the
very
regular
much.
area the game is, it's
And
not so much
I think
you know, full
goodbye for
scale
now until we see you in the next stream.
like Throne or WoW or something like that, MMO wise. All right, well, that was cool. At least they did a little stream for them releasing the pre-order shit. It's Conan with cars. I mean, it's a Funcom game, so I ain't gonna sit here and deny that. It's it's legit a Funcom game. Their games play very similar. I do not have enough to juice this belt up, man. I might actually just trying to decide if I want to just sell it for now since I'm down bad on stones, but honestly I could probably get some. If anything, I could just buy some. Cause I just like scraped everything together to upgrade these booties I had. I ain't got shit. I ain't got shit. Kilo, do you need to do any tier 3s? Or 3 stars, I mean? I got 5,400 I'm trying to blast. If I can get, I mean, if I blast through mine, I'll pop some of my chargers from my Abyssal and we can do some Abyssal. I just want to buy the rest of yeah, fuck it. Dude, it was like 2-hour and 45-minute farm of Nebula earlier. I got 8 greater nebs, bro. And 4 essences. Crazy. Oh, here you go. Augers. Tier 1 gear. My favorite. Isn't it your favorite, guys? Just throw these other things in my bank. I'm so tired of seeing tier 1 gear, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. Mana regen worth anything? $85. I mean, I'll show those. How much do you get for 10? Yeah, I'm good on that one, big dog. That shit'll go in my lithograph book when it costs 10 lucent. Until then, they're getting chopped up. Are you, what server are you on, Invar? One of those was tradable, wasn't it? It was. I'm just fried. It's okay. It's okay. I give up. This is why you don't have 30-hour days back to back. We are carnage. Oh boy. Oh. How's the server pop looking on Carnage? Let me see if any of my friends want to do some 3 stars. Hey guys, any 3 stars? Nebula, oh, the chest stuff, yeah. Alright, let me play some music. Fix my music. But this song, one of my favorite songs right now, I'm not gonna lie. Bro, get your ass up out of bed, Scale. Let's knock this shit out. I drew the giveaway for Assassin's Creed already. Posted it on my Twitter. I might have an extra one to give away though. I'll look into it when I'm done streaming today. I think I do. Yeah, 9,000? Yeah, bro, I'm at 54, but I can pop some. Alright, let me hop down here with you, Kila.